Hello and welcome to the 38th part of the series on self-exploration. Joining the dots, contemplating, comprehending and sharing it with you all raw. All that sounds great is the grace of all those who have blessed me. And all that sounds not so great is my limitation. We are exploring the Vincian intelligence model and we are on the 8th part of this sub-series of 10 parts. If you have directly landed on this part, you may just check out for the links for other parts in the description box below. So let's get started. We are thinking of the next Vincian intelligence principle, the 7th principle, cognizione. This is the last principle of this 7-step program for self-excellence. Cognizione means the ever-expanding circles. It is the recognition of and appreciation for the interconnectedness of all things and phenomena. That is expanding the circles. Going from my area to the neighboring area and finding connectivity in those two areas is expanding my radius. Seeing wholeness in each thing is being the most healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy and emotionally healthy, and that is the pinnacle of self-excellence. In fact, the word health comes from hai, that means whole. To understand the wholeness or interconnectivity of anything, what is the basic need? We need to dig back to the origin of things. Because in the roots, if we find the connectivity, the same connectivity can be seen in branches which apparently seem diverse. They come from the same root. So when we dig it out to the base and feel the connection in the journey of that feeling or experience, or interconnectivity of different experiences, we have to go to the root of, base of any experience. This is actually our mental lab of research and development. We can call it the R&D lab of conscience, constantly contemplating and expanding, going up in our concepts, going up in our conscience. Interconnectivity and thereby expansion of the conscience is the ultimate step in growth. When you see the same in everything, that is the ultimatum of growth. The growth kind of stops over there. You've completed your growth. Like the microcosm, maybe our body systems, and the macrocosm, the universe, they are connected. We may start observing a lot of codependencies. Codependencies in nature, codependencies in human relations. For example, the tree becomes your food in the end. All our food is finally obtained from green plants. And our waste becomes the manure that makes the tree. We breathe in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Plants do exactly the reverse, and thus they both help the survival of each other, and this codependence carries ahead the cycles in nature. In the same way, in a human body, our organs or systems are codependent. Their functions are codependent. One organ system is the support system for the other organ system, which in turn behaves as a support system for this, and together they run the mechanism or the machine called as this body very, very effectively, hand in hand. If one system fails, the whole body collapses. When one vital system fails, we usually hear of multiple organ failure, which starts with one organ. So it is the codependence, interconnectivity of our organ systems within our body. Interconnectivity in nature, codependences in a family. All the members of the family, they have their defined roles and they are codependent. Each role has its own importance, and each person in the family can be noted metaphorically, like who is the head of the family, who becomes the heart of the family, who are the hands and who are the feet of my family. And why? Why do I call this member as the heart of my family? Why will I call this member as the feet of my family? Together, all these members make my family. This is expanding circles. Interconnectivity within our body, then interconnectivity in family, members of our family, then interconnectivity of society, different elements of the society, their interconnectivity and their codependencies, and interconnectivity in the universe, in nature, expanding, going outer and outer and outer. In Rigvediya Nityavidhi, in the Rigvediya Suktas, there is a Sukta called as the Purusha Sukta, in which we describe the universal body as the Purusha. Sahasrashirsha Purusha Sahasraksh Sahasrapat. A Purusha, a universal body with 1,000 eyes, 1,000 hands and 1,000 feet. And then for this Mahamanav or the Purusha, the universal body, what represents his feet, what represents his minds? Chandrama manaso jatas chakshoh suryo ajayata mukhadindrascha agnischa pranad vayurajayata nabhyadasi dantariksham shirshnav dauh samavartata padabhyam bhumirdisha shrotra tatha lokana kalpayan. Chandrama manaso jata, the moon becomes the mind of this universal body, the sun becomes the eyes. Nabhyadhasi dantariksham, the navel becomes the space. So here we are expanding our conscience of our body to the entire universe, and what will represent or what does the function of eyes in a very different aspect. Out of the 5 elements, eyes represent the tej, the fire. So it is extrapolating, expanding our idea of our body. That is connessione, expanding our circle and becoming more and more lighter, virala. Expansion, when a gas expands, it becomes more and more scarce, it expands. Its area of coverage exceeds and its density decreases. That is dispersing, expanding, getting absorbed. Expansion also lies in cross connections, combining and connecting disparate elements to form new patterns. If I see similarities in two people or in two objects, if my system quickly picks up similarities in two systems, two objects, then we may understand that I am on that track of connessione, of expanding. Like when I teach, if I'm a chemistry teacher, I teach periodic table and I always try to connect it with the 7 level systems. of the different aspects that I'm going to discuss with you in the forthcoming parts. So that tells us that we are on the track of expanding, of finding similarities in two systems or two things. If we are frequently making connections that other people don't see or don't gaze, like someone tells us something and we immediately spot something similar to that from a completely diverse area. If I have a holistic approach to diet, to health and healing, if I see connectivity in my diet, in my health, and then in my physical and emotional healing, I am on the way. If we have a well developed sense of proportion, similarity, if we can articulate the system of dynamics, the patterns, connections, networks in our family, networks in our workplace, connectivity, codependencies, quickly connecting two people and getting both of their works done, behaving like a middleman. If someone approaches me for some work, I know this person who can do this work. Connect those two people. That is expansion. This whole observation in ourselves tells us that we are on the way. This whole program of 7 principles is a step-by-step procedure. And if we take a systematic approach to this whole procedure as a self-training, thoughtful approach, contemplating and thinking over each of this aspect, trying to fit ourselves in this whole system and taking us upwards, upgrading ourselves, then we are bound to get magnificent results. As I discussed in the first part, the introductory part, this whole program may be taken as a guideline by parents to groom their kids, or they may also be taken by individuals as a self-excellence program by itself. To quickly sum up, we talked of 7 steps or 7 principles of excellence. The first is curiosita, that is curiosity and the result of asking good and correct questions. That leads to dimistrizione, that is experimentation and experiences, taking experiences, that develops sensazione, that is deeper sensing, cross sensing, and then smoking up to a cause, that is fumato, throwing ourselves completely into something that is ambiguous and paradoxical, and that leads to a whole brain thinking, artisans, and that develops the poise, the grace, corporality, finally to expand our circles, leading to the pinnacle of self-excellence, connessione. These 7 steps are a ladder to experience. If practiced, contemplated and ruminated over and over, they will surely raise the potential and inner authority of a being beyond imagination. All these things are never at a snapshot. We always need to percolate those concepts in ourselves, visit, revisit, make our own programs, assess ourselves. We always say in Marathi की असाध्य नाही पण सहज साध्यही नाही, कष्ट साध्य आहे. It is not improbable, but it is not easily probable. It will become probable with efforts, with a determination, with perseverance. To further help us on taking up this program, the book gives a systematic 7-day self-excellence program. I hope you have enjoyed these 7 principles and you have observed the ladder up in these steps and their interconnectivity. We will discuss the 7-day self-excellence program in the next part. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for being with me in this whole journey. It was just a heartfelt sharing, something that benefited me. I wanted to put it across to the universe. Thank you so much for being with me. Stay tuned for the 7-day self-excellence program. Bye.